Donald Trump continues to take credit for the booming U.S. stock market that's happening under President Joe Biden. On a day where both the Dow and S&P closed at record highs, the former president wrote on social media, in all caps, we should note, this is the Trump stock market because my polls against Biden are so good that investors are projecting that I will win, and that will drive the market up. Everything else is terrible. As you might imagine, the Biden campaign was quick to respond to Trump's baseless claim, writing this in a statement: "Thank you, Donald, for lifting up today's strong economic news. But on this planet, Joe Biden is the president." Joining us now, White House correspondent for Politico, Adam Cancryn. Adam, good to see you this morning. So let's talk about the economy. Former President Trump, of course, we just showed you his statement. The White House's rapid response team has gotten much better of late and faster, and they hit back. Recent polling does show that Americans are starting to feel better about the state of the economy, but they haven't really given the Biden administration credit yet. What's the White House going to do to try to turn that around?
Yeah, this is the main question here, John. And, this sign here from Donald Trump may be one of the clear signs of nervousness that the economy, which has been really an advantage for Trump up until now, is maybe shifting a little bit. And what the Biden camp has been trying to do is really say to voters who are still skeptical about, whether Biden deserves credit, whether the economy is really that good, to say, look, in November, it's going to be a choice. You're either going to get Biden's policies, what you have up until now, or you're going to get Trump's. And the way that they're trying to paint Trump here is as a friend of billionaires and the wealthy and corporations versus more working class policies that have been advanced by Biden. The main target here, the main tangible piece of evidence, is the 2017 tax law. If you remember, 6 years ago, this is Trump's main piece of legislative accomplishment, maybe his only accomplishment legislatively. It resulted in a huge windfall for corporations, not so much for middle-class voters, for working-class voters. And so you're going to see a lot of talk about that, about taxes, and about this choice between the two candidates.
And certainly the Biden camp also going after some of what Trump's proposals might be, including this idea of tariffs with China, which may reignite another trade war. Tell us else about how something, as one advisor put to me, you can tell Trump's getting nervous about the economy because he's talking about the border and no longer about the economy. What else does the Biden White House hope to do here?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is one of these things where, Trump only has a little bit of a policy platform, right? He's a bit of a chameleon. Even Democrats say it's hard to pin him down on certain things. But when it comes to taxes, when it comes to areas that Trump is not going to be willing to back off of, the idea of placing more tariffs, right, which end up hitting U.S. consumers, the idea of maybe in a second term trying to lower the corporate tax rate even further, these are areas where when you talk to White House officials, when you talk to Biden campaign officials that are involved in the planning, in the strategy for the general election, they say these are areas that, one, are toxic to voters, and two, that we can be reasonably certain Trump's not going to back off of, Republicans aren't going to back off of. So if the Biden camp can put more attention on that, contrast that with, perhaps even an extended slate of tax increases for the wealthy that Biden could propose, that creates a clear distinction, a clear delineation when it comes to, what voters want in November.
So, Adam, let's talk a little bit about the Electoral College map. Some eyebrows raised. President Biden heading to Florida for fundraising, actually in Palm Beach, not far from where Trump is, there at Mar-a-Lago. Doesn't seem to be a real sense that they think Florida's in play, but can't hurt to spend a little time there, make the Republicans spend a little money. But I know you've been focusing also on Michigan and some struggles this White House is having there. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Michigan is kind of a real good news, bad news for the Biden campaign. Last week, the UAW gave Biden a real full-throated endorsement, which is something that Biden and the campaign had been pursuing for months, right? So that's great when it comes to blue-collar voters, working-class voters, locking down that kind of organizational muscle. On the other hand, in Michigan, there's a large Arab American community, large Palestinian community that is, obviously outraged over how Biden has conducted his Middle East policy, the support he's given to Israel. And you're seeing some, real signs of division there. Biden's campaign manager was in Michigan last Friday for some private meetings with various, community leaders. Several Arab American, Muslim community leaders, elected officials, got that invitation to meet with her and said, we talked to our community, there's no way we're going to meet with you. Our community says, nothing that you can say short of a ceasefire that's going to make us, vote for Biden, get into his corner here.
Some real anger there. The campaign going to need other paths to victory. And we should note the head of the UAW joining us on Morning Joe a little later this morning.